I just remember the 4-year-old who walked in this clinic who had no words, who had no gestures. We had no idea what was going on with him.
We literally were given a piece of paper and more or less told there's not a whole lot you can do. You really need to go out and try to maybe get a little speech, maybe a little behavioral intervention, but otherwise, why don't we check in with you again in a year? And that was it.
I completely understand the urgency, particularly for the family, to find the solution of a travesty, because you lose a child. There is this veil that doesn't allow you to communicate with your child. I can't even imagine as a parent what that means.
The Autism Speaks Autism Treatment Network is a group of 17 sites across the United States and North America, all dedicated to providing a comprehensive, coordinated care model to individuals with autism spectrum disorders.
There are many things that we can do to make your child's autism better. And there are many strategies that exist both behaviorally and medically that we know really are effective. Autism is treatable.
I look at the Autism Treatment Network as sort of the expert, because everything with autism is here. So whatever the issue you might have, it's all housed here and we can address that issue. And if we can't, we have this giant network that we can search to find the answer for our family.
When I talk to a newly diagnosed family, particularly one that's been to an ATN site, a smile comes to my face because they talk about the fact that they left with more or less a prescription, a plan.
I think the ATN is really on the cusp of bringing major change to how children with autism get care.
The goal for the next 3 to 5 years is really to take the work of the ATN and really broaden the reach of that care model and get that into the hands of the primary care community. We want children to be able to feel cared for in their local communities, but oftentimes these primary care doctors can't do it alone.
The ability to work within the ATN with a group of experts is helpful for us to better treat or care for children with ASD.
It's never worth giving up, even when you've had enough. Let me help you understand.
There has been an awareness that these kids have real medical issues that are different from those in the general pediatric population.
Comorbidities are coexisting conditions that they might exist in somebody who doesn't have autism, constipation, insomnia, seizures, but they exist at a higher rate or with more severe consequences in someone with autism.
At least 50% of the autistic population are nonverbal or hypoverbal, so they can't tell you that they hurt or they're uncomfortable or even describe it. So how are they going to tell you that they're uncomfortable other than through their behaviors? Any kid that comes through this door that's got some odd behavior, next stop is the gastroenterologist.
If we are looking for a magic bullet to diagnose and treat autism, we will be unreasonable. The key element is really to try to find which path these kids have been following and tackle that path so that eventually you can customize approaches.
I think the research agenda for the ATN is just about to come into its forte. It's been very strong already, but the fact that they now have 6,300 kids in the registry and they're being followed in those clinics over time means that we can now really begin to reap the benefits of the investments that Autism Speaks has made over the years.
And we can learn so much from that group about the trajectory of autism spectrum disorders. Who does well? Who doesn't do as well, and why? Can we have some understanding as to why some children have a certain outcome and some children don't, and can we capture that?
But each of these sites serves a lot more children than are enrolled in the registry. We're serving about 30,000 or more children each year.
Hold on, everybody needs you. Hold on to hope this time.
There are 17 sites for the Autism Treatment Network. Last time I counted, we had 50 states. We had a globe filled with people with autism. This is something that we need everywhere.
One of the big opportunities that we have is being able to take the kind of care that children receive at an ATN site and making that available to doctors who are in practices, in communities, so that they're not afraid of autism.
I think the toolkits are wonderful because they're topic specific. And to be able to be in practice and pick up a specific guideline for medication use in a child with autism or treatment of a specific medical condition is absolutely wonderful.
I think what we bring to the table is our understanding of how to provide care in a largely underserved community where our population is primarily receive their health care through publicly funded health insurance.
Access to autism treatment shouldn't be contingent on your bank balance or your zip code. People with autism need access to meaningful care.
The ATN finally can put some rationale on how to approach the problem to finally have the kids coming back.
That really is the goal of the ATN, to give parents that sense of hope. There is help, and that we'll work together with you to make sure that your child gets the care that he or she needs.
They're setting the standard, they're living the example, and their patients are the best evidence for what they do.
Oh,